Hey, Rose. We need to talk. It's quite important, actually, now that I think about it. So, I'm just wondering, who is your boyfriend? What does he do for a living?
What do you want to know about Javier?
Well, last week, I saw you both come out of this super fancy restaurant. I happened to be passing by the place, and I saw him and you together. He was wearing a fancy suit, and you in a flashy dress.
Oh, right. I know what you're talking about now. I think you're actually talking about our outing that we did last week. Actually, that particular restaurant is owned by one of Javier's friends. They invited us to a party to celebrate the opening of the restaurant.
Wow! So you got invited to a fancy restaurant like that? You're so lucky. So, your boyfriend knows the owner of that restaurant? It's already become a huge hit with people on social media. It's already gained a huge following. It's really famous and popular with a lot of people. It's already got 1 Michelin star, and it's so difficult to get a reservation. It's so busy.
Yes, it's really taken off. It was really fun to be invited to celebrate the opening of such a fancy restaurant like that. I never knew that Javier had friends like that in such high places. I will have to thank him for letting me come to the opening.
Well, rumor has it there were lots of celebrities that were invited to the opening of it. Sounded like such an amazing party. Even the daughters of some of the major companies in town were invited, along with politician daughters too. I've heard that a lot of amazing people were invited. I can't believe you got to go.
Indeed, you're right. The people around me were all people I've seen on TV. So I was super nervous when it came to mingling with all those famous people.
I see. What does your boyfriend do, though, if he knows those type of people? What does he do to get invited to that kind of party? Your boyfriend must be in a pretty high position in society, right? Like, an elite? Could it be that your boyfriend is a president of a major corporation or something?
No, of course not, Violet. He's no president of any company. Javier's just an ordinary office worker.
But that can't be right. There's no way a mere office worker could be invited to such a fancy party. Like, think about it. Why are you so determined to hide your boyfriend's identity from me, Rose? We're best friends. Are you really going to keep something like that from me? Please, tell me the truth.
But I am, Violet. I'm telling you nothing but the truth. I have no reason to lie to you. It seems like the owner and Javier have been friends since elementary school. We were invited because of the connection they have.
Wow! What? They've been friends for that long? That's amazing he's had a friend for that long amount of time. So Javier's definitely some amazing guy then, isn't he? Friends of successful people are also guaranteed to be successful themselves since they've got connections to so many people. Also, now that I think about it, you've also been doing well lately. After all, you've had a lot of influence from your rich CEO boyfriend.
Violet, what are you talking about?
Admit it, Rose. Don't you remember us two drinking together the other day? At that time, didn't you generously pay for the entire taxi fare? Plus, you paid for the drinks as well. I guess you got a lot of pocket money every month from your elite boyfriend. That's why you're so energetic and have been socializing a lot recently.
I only paid because you forgot to bring your wallet, Violet. So I had no choice but to pay for everything. Now that you mention all this, I still haven't got my money back for the drinks and the taxi fare. All you did was order super expensive alcohol, so even if we were to have split the bill, it would have been about $200 per person. I didn't mean to purchase that much alcohol, especially at the price that it was at. So if you could please give me what you owe, that would be great.
You don't need to have a go at me if you're the one who's acting like this over a bit of money. You're the one with the big boss boyfriend, and I'm sure he can treat you to some of his money to pay for it all. That's why I don't need to pay you anything.
And what is the meaning of this, Violet? That makes no sense as we're the ones who went out and you didn't pay your fair share.
Even so, I didn't know you had a boyfriend who was winning at life. He should be able to give you whatever you want, including lots of money. I'm actually so envious of you. Almost to the point that I want to take Javier away from you and keep him all to myself.
Are you being serious right now, Violet?
What? Of course not. It's just a joke. Rose. Well, I think that we should go out drinking again. At your expense again. You should share the financial power of your elite boyfriend with your friends. Especially me. Am I right?
Rose, we need to talk. We need to break up right now. I have someone that I want to marry.
What? What are you talking about? Isn't the person you want to marry me? Since I'm your girlfriend, right?
I hate to break it to you, Rose, but you're not my girlfriend anymore. I no longer have any interest in being with you. Sorry.
What the heck is going on here? Is this some kind of sick joke?
The only person I'm in love with right now is Violet. It's already been decided that we're going to get married to each other.
Are you for real, Javier? Now hold up just a minute. Just slow down, please. Don't make such hasty decisions. You're not seriously talking about my friend Violet, are you?
And yes, your friend Violet, yes. Actually, we've been dating for almost a month now. And then just over that time we spent together, I fell in love with her. If I were to get married, I would rather get married to Violet than you, to be honest.
This can't be happening right now. No. What the heck is all this? So while you've been going out with me, you've been having an affair with a close friend of mine? And now you want to go ahead with it and marry Violet? You're just going to throw me away like trash? Just like that? Like I'm nothing?
I just feel so much more comfortable when I'm around Violet. She's just really kind and pampers me a lot. She even listens to me when I complain about my job.
I listen to your complaints too. You listen to mine as well. I do so many things, Javier.
What are you even talking about? You've got a way better career and earn a way higher salary than me. You're way more successful. You don't have any reason to complain about your job when you earn so much money already. So stop making fun of me.
What? I'm not even doing that at all.
I bet you were making fun of me on the inside. Even though we work at the same company, the gap between me and you is widening. You're making fun of me because I never got promoted and my salary is much lower than yours. I already hate you for that.
Okay, Javier, you really need to calm down. I would never make fun of you. I'm not that sort of person to make a mockery of people. Okay, yes, I got promoted faster than you did, but when you think about it, our work and private lives are very different. I genuinely like you a lot, Javier. Why are you being like this? I haven't done anything.
Too bad, Rose. I already don't like you anymore. I don't hold any good feelings for you anymore. A woman who earns more money than her boyfriend is rather annoying. I hate it so much.
That makes no sense. What I earn shouldn't be a factor in our relationship.
A woman must stand by her man and be inferior. That's why I want to break up with you and marry my sweet Violet. Besides, who would want to marry an unattractive woman like you?
How dare you do this to me, Violet? How could you? Why would you go and take Javier away from me for? I can't believe the two of you were dating behind my back. Cheating with your best friend's boyfriend is so cruel. How could you do this?
Even though you asked me why I did it, I was still able to take him away from you. I only stole Javier away because I was jealous of his existence and him being with you. There's no other reason to it. I just wanted to take him away from your grasp.
What? You're jealous of Javier? I don't understand. Why?
It's crazy that you, my best friend, has a boyfriend who is a company president. I recently got dumped by my last boyfriend. Plus, I got fired from my job, and life's tough. I couldn't tolerate you being the only one who wins at life. It's not fair.
Are you kidding me, Violet? Did these things really happen to you?
Of course it did. Just because I was absent without permission from work, it got me fired somehow. My boyfriend also abandoned me straight away when he found out, and everything has been terrible lately. But you, my best friend, is the only one who's doing well at work, and your boyfriend is also a company president. You're both so sneaky and think you're better than everyone else.
It's impossible to just take someone's boyfriend when that is your only reason.
Since you're my best friend, it would be nice if you could share a little bit of your happiness with me. I'm sure you've had a lovely time with Javier. Now it's my turn. What's so wrong with taking him away from you?
It's not good at all, Violet. Are you crazy? No matter the circumstances, it's not a good reason to take a friend's boyfriend. And because of what you've done, this is the end of our friendship. I'm fine with that if you are.
I don't really care what you do. I've got what I wanted. Just a story of a best friend who used to have an elite boyfriend, and now I do. I've decided that my boyfriend is more important to me than you are.
Are you serious? Even though you've done wrong, you were going to ditch me anyway?
I no longer need you as a best friend anymore, Rose. If you can't forget me for taking Javier away from you, then that's fine by me. As long as I have Javier, who has a lot of money and is a boss, then that's all I need in life.
But that's not even true.
And on top of that, he wants to go ahead and marry me. Isn't that great? Oh, this coming weekend, we're actually going to go and view a wedding venue. When a man finds a girl he really likes, I guess he acts quickly. Didn't you both date each other for like 5 years? You never even talked about marriage, did you?
And I guess that's right. Even when I brought up the topic of marriage, Javier just tried to change the conversation. But the conversation with you progressed so quickly, it's hard to believe.
I want to get married really soon and become a company president's wife. Then I could go to the beauty salon every day and do as much shopping as I wanted. In the evening, we can go to celebrity parties. I can wear a beautiful dress and hang out with the rich and famous every day.
Huh? You really think you're going to be able to do those things with Javier?
And then I can come home to a beautiful and big luxury apartment. Tipsy, of course. After the party, the two of us can enjoy the night view looking over the city while opening a bottle of expensive wine. What a life I'll have. The view from my own luxury apartment will be wonderful.
Okay, you need to hold on a minute, Violet. Do you really think you'll be able to spend your days with Javier in luxury?
What are you on about? What kind of question is that? He's a company president, so he's obviously quite rich. If I marry a man like Javier, I'm sure I'll be able to enjoy a luxurious life. So I'll find a luxury apartment for him to buy. One room could cost around $100,000, but I'm sure he can't afford it.
You've got to be joking, Violet.
Of course not. I can't wait to get married to a company president. When I become his wife, I'll live in an apartment that's so expensive and flash and indulge in luxury.
Well, I guess I made such a big mistake of getting a rundown apartment.
What do you mean? I don't get it.
Well, instead of living in luxury, every day I've been able to save a lot of money. Whereas you've just been fired from your job, and you know Javier's pay is only about $1,400 a month. From there, you'll have to pay for the rent, utilities, and of course the phone bill, since it'll be used a lot. Wow, you might be living off bean sprouts for a long time.
Wait, what? Just hang on a second. Why are you saying this all of a sudden? Javier is a company manager, right? There's no way that his income is only that much money a month, right? It's a joke, no?
I've told you many times that he's not a president of any company. Javier is just a regular office worker that earns pennies. Actually, we work at the same company together. To be honest, I'm way more successful than him and earn a lot more money than him too.
You've got to be kidding me, right? Are you trying to get back at me for what I did or something?
On the contrary, my dear Violet. Javier has been making a lot of mistakes at work lately. It's not looking good, to be honest with you. In the end, he was given a pay cut. That's why he's only been earning pennies. His paycheck by the end of the month is sometimes only $1,400. That's why I've been the one paying for all the dates we've been on. He wasn't able to afford anything when we went out. After all that, it came down to me paying for all the rent and other expenses, not him. He's not wealthy in the slightest.
Are you for real? Is this really true? He isn't well off at all? It was all a lie?
Do you even want to marry such a man and indulge in beauty treatments every day when in reality you couldn't afford it? Do you still want to buy anything you want? Do you want to buy a high-end luxury apartment that costs a ridiculous amount of money? Well, I don't think anything like that will ever come true if you don't got a man who earns enough money. On top of all that, if you can't pay the rent, then maybe you should move into an old and rundown apartment to get cheap rent.
No! This can't be happening to me right now. All the things you're saying is a lie. He wouldn't do this to me. Just because you feel bad about me robbing Javier from you, it doesn't mean you get to say stupid things like that to make me back out of being with him. Javier is well acquainted with the owner of a high-end restaurant, so of course he's an elite man. I thought he said they were just friends, but I'm sure he's just as successful as all the other guests that were invited to that party. As proof of that, he was wearing an extremely expensive suit that day. I saw it all with my very own eyes. What you're saying can't be real.
Violet, that suit was a rental. It's not something that Javier owns.
What do you mean? He was wearing a rental suit to that party?
I told him the suit that he had would be enough for the party. However, he wanted to look good in front of all my friends, so he went to a shop and rented a suit for the night. It was a high-end suit, so it cost hundreds of dollars just to rent it. It's a shame because he wasted his income on it, and now with his pay cut, he's worse off.
You've got to be pulling my leg, right? Is this for real? That designer brand suit he was wearing was just a rental? It wasn't his own suit?
How many times do I have to explain this to you, Violet? He's just an ordinary office worker. There's nothing special about his job. He's not a big shot company boss. But you didn't even listen to me at all, Violet. What you do now, that's all on you, not me. You need to live with the consequences of what you thought someone was. I hope you have a happy marriage with Javier. May you and him be happy and be in love forever.
No! This can't happen to me. I'm not going to let this become my future. No way. If he's not the company president, then the marriage will never work out. I can't do this impossible thing. I'm going to break up with Javier.
Excuse me? But what's with the sudden change of heart? Don't you love him for the way he is?
I thought that he was a big shot company president, so that's why I stole him from you. If he's not, then what's the point in keeping him around? I don't want to be anywhere near him. I thought this was going to be my big turnaround in life, and I would be rich and successful. But I never expected that he was just an ordinary office worker. How is that possible? And with all that, I lost to you, even though I was way better than you at things. And now I get a pay cut and have no job? There's no way I can marry that kind of man and be happy about it. If he earns pennies, how am I supposed to live and buy things that I want? It's not fair!
I don't relate to anything you're saying, Violet. What do you want me to understand? Maybe you should use this opportunity of getting married and actually putting some effort into working on yourself. Maybe you might climb up the ladder and get promoted at work and become successful. Have you thought about that? I don't want anything to do with a so-called friend who steals men away.
I can't wait for that to happen. It would take so long to do that. I want success now. I want to become a company president's wife and live a luxurious life. If I can't do that, then I'm going to break up with him. I'll give him back to you. You can have Javier.
Do you know I feel so bad for you, Rose? We finally got married. I just submitted my marriage papers with Violet. I'm now officially her husband. Maybe you have some regrets, but please give up on your chance of getting back with me.
As long as you don't have any regrets, then I'm not worried. Are you sure everything is okay with the marriage paper submission? I swear Violet said something last night that she was going to break up with you.
What? She was going to break up with me? What makes you say that?
It seems like Violet thought that you were the company president for a while. But when she found out the truth about you, she said that she was going to break up with you. She said that if you're not a company president, then she can't be with you.
Are you being serious right now? What the heck is this? But I thought we loved each other. She said that she was madly in love with me and that she wants to marry me. So I got a marriage registration form and we started dating each other straight away. That's why I abandoned you and went off with Violet.
Look, I don't care if you stay married or break up. I don't want anything to do with either of you. You've both played me for a fool, and I'm not having it anymore. Goodbye, and never contact me again. After that, Violet and Javier hurriedly looked for new jobs. It seems that they managed to register for a work dispatch. The two of them moved into a rundown apartment together. As I expected, they lived on bean sprouts as their staple food. However, Violet was boasting to all of her friends, saying that she was going to marry a company president, and everyone wanted to be invited to the wedding. She should have told the truth instead of deceiving people. She was then characterized as the vulgar woman by everyone around her. Javier posted on social media recently that he's having champagne whilst having a meeting. In reality, they're living off pennies and trying to survive each day. The social media posts are just something he wished he had. Hey, Emily. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out with me this weekend. I found a really cool restaurant, and I'd love it if you and I could go check it out. What are you talking about, Carla? We have our high school reunion this weekend, remember? Did you forget about that or something? Wait a second. You mean to tell me that you were really going to that loser convention? Loser convention? What do you mean by that? Come on now, Emily. You have to know that people like us are cut above the other normies we went to school with. We've already achieved more in our lives than any of them probably will for decades to come. So I think we're better off skipping the reunion and doing something fun. I'm sorry, but I'm still not quite sure that I'm following what you're getting at. I mean, you don't really feel that way about everyone that we've gone to school with, right? Well, it's true, isn't it? I mean, okay, maybe you and I specifically haven't done things with our lives, but we're both engaged to people who have, isn't your fiancé the general manager of the company he works for? Because my fiancé owns his company. My point is that we're better than the rest, and, we should act like it. Carla, I really don't know what to say to any of this right now. I don't get why you're having such a hard time accepting the facts when they are right there. We just did better than everyone else in school, and it shows by the fact that we're marrying the people that we are. Besides, I think who you choose to hang out with says a lot about a person. And if you're still hanging out with people from high school who've done nothing with their lives, instead of your more successful friends, then, well, it's just not good. I'm sorry, Carla, but I think the only thing that's not good around here is your attitude. I still keep in touch with plenty of people from high school, and some of them are my dear friends. So if you don't want to go to the reunion, that's fine, but I'm still going to go. You'll just have to find someone else to hang out with. You've got to be kidding me. You're not serious about this, are you? I am, and I don't think that you're a very good friend if that's really how you think of people. So please, don't try and lump me into the same camp as you. And one more thing you should know, I actually broke off my engagement with my fiancé last week. Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you were going to marry a general manager and you broke it off? Besides, I heard that your fiancé was in line to inherit the whole company since he's the CEO's son, after all. Well, a lot happened between us, and we realized the marriage just wasn't going to work out. But I'm free next month if you want to try and hang out, just the two of us then. I can let you know what times I actually have available in a little bit. You think I would ever lower myself to hang out with you now? What is that supposed to mean? Haven't you been reading any of my messages at all? It's all about who you know and who you're seen with. And if you're not a winner like me, then I really shouldn't be wasting my time talking to a loser like you. So now, I won't be hanging out with you anytime soon.
Hey, Emily, I just walked outside my door and found all kinds of cooked food on my doorstep. And it's basically all the things that I love to eat. Even some of my favorite snacks are in here too. Did you leave all this here for me?
Wow, you found all that a lot faster than I thought you were going to. But yes, I was a bit worried about you, so I went out and got you some treats.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Why were you worried?
Well, you're always talking about how busy you are with work and how you barely even have time to eat. So I just thought I'd be nice and bring some food straight to you.
But I don't get it. We broke up, right? We even called off our engagement, so I don't understand. Especially after the reason why we had to break things off was so ridiculous. I'm surprised you still want anything to do with me.
Hey, it's not like I don't get why we wouldn't have worked out. I mean, you started a company with your friend and it all went belly up. You were the one who told me that you just couldn't marry me like that. So in a way, you kind of did it all to yourself.
But what other choice did I have but to call it off? I mean, I wanted to give you the world. I was planning a huge wedding for us, but then my friend screwed up our big project and our whole company fell apart. And after that, we lost all of our contracts. And on top of all of that, my friend took the rest of our funds and ran off, leaving the company on the verge of having to declare bankruptcy.
Yes, Barry, I know. You've told me the story at least 1,000 times. But what I'm surprised about is that you haven't gone to your parents begging for help. You told me that you didn't want them to keep bailing you out and that this was something you wanted to try on your own.
Well, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'm just a bit of a prideful guy sometimes. But either way, I can't believe that our 5 years together had to end that way. I came into your life, made a big mess, and I had to pull out like the loser that I am. I'm just so sorry that I've probably ruined your life too.
Barry, no offense, but I'm not the kind of person to let a breakup ruin my life. I am sad that things went the way they did, but not even you have the power to ruin my life with your presence or lack thereof.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, that I don't care that we're not engaged anymore. But it doesn't mean that I don't care about you. You're still important to me, and I want to try and remain friends. After all, I think it's great how even after being betrayed by your friend, you're still trying to pursue your goals. That's why I felt like I just had to bring you something to eat. I mean, you've been working so hard. And knowing you would probably work all night without taking a bite before you even realized it was morning. So at least eat something before you finally go to bed. Otherwise, you're just going to be good to no one.
Thank you so much, Emily. I don't know what else to say, except that I still feel like I don't deserve this from you.
Well, I say you are, and that should be good enough. But anyways, have you still not been able to get a hold of your friend? I mean, what do you think he's going to do with the money he took?
I don't know because I still haven't heard from him. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if he just kept his phone on mute or even changed his number at this point. I even think that he might have moved away, but it's not like I can put out an APB or something. Especially not with a name like Jack Smith.
Wait a second. Jack Smith? You know, now that you say that, I think I have a friend actually engaged to a Jack Smith.
Oh, really? I wonder if it's the same person.
That would really be some odds there. But you never know with these things.
Well, how about I send you a picture of him? That way, if you ever find out that they're the same person, just let me know.
Okay, sounds good to me. Anyways, good luck with the rest of your work. And you better eat something or else. Got it? Carla, what is the matter with you? Why would you do this to me? Why would you throw all this water on me? Aw, I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of a way to make you go home, and that's all I could think of. But this is what you get for not leaving when I told you to the first time. I just had to do something to make you go away, you know? No, I don't know. And just why do I have to go home, huh? I thought you invited me to your wedding because we were friends. Why even send an invite if you're just going to tell me to go home? You're almost right there. I almost saw you as a friend, but then you revealed to me that you were nothing but a loser. When I heard about how you broke off your engagement, I instantly started to regret inviting you here. And so, when I saw you arrive this morning, I knew that I had to do something. You could have just told me before I got there that you didn't want me to come. You didn't have to dump a bucket of water on me like some kind of middle school prank. I have had enough out of you. We're not friends, got it? I wouldn't want to be friends with some poor nobody like you anyways. I mean, you were so close to marrying so rich, and then you screwed it all up. You really think I'm poor? Is that what this is about? Well, of course you are. But then again, there aren't many women who I don't consider too poor for me at this point. But that's all their fault for not marrying rich like I am. You know, Carla, I think that you really need to be careful about jumping to conclusions about people. And this is a whole obsession with winners and loser and rich and poor is just too much. Don't you realize how rude you're being? Shut up, you poor loser. I don't need to take this from you. You could have been my friend, maybe even my equal almost. But now it's far too late for any of that. And that's why you'll never be anywhere near my level again. What are you talking about? I'm talking about how you'll never be able to afford an amazing wedding like mine. And you'll never be able to live in the amazing condo building that I live in either. And you'll certainly never get a $30,000 wedding ring like I have. And you'll never be across your entire life as a sad, pathetic loser. I'm not like other women. I'm special. I'm the winner. I'm the best. I don't even think that I can keep talking to you like this. But if you want me to go home, then fine. I'll gladly do that. Good. Leave. Now. Nobody wants you here anyways. The only person who is going to rich and never have to work again is me. I'm the best. I'm number one. Except that you know your husband is here apologizing to me, right? What on earth are you talking about now, loser? Well, that's the thing. Your amazing winner of a husband is here on his knees begging me for forgiveness. He's still here in his tuxedo right now. I don't think I've seen a man do anything like this in a tux. It's kind of hot, actually. Literally, what are you talking about? Why would my husband be apologizing to you? Well, because you did something he feels that he needs to say sorry for. Of course, I don't see any reason why I should forgive you. Have you actually gone crazy or something? Start making sense now. I guess he's also very sorry because he ruined my engagement and ran off to get married himself. Hold on a second. I am so lost here. I mean, all I did was pour a little water on an unwanted loser. Why would my husband have to apologize to you for anything? Did he forget we're better than you? You don't get it. This is much bigger than you and your dumb prank. You see, it's your husband's fault that my engagement was called off. That's why he's here begging. But how? I still don't get it. Well, because it's his fault that my fiancé Barry and I had to call off our engagement. You see, Barry and Jack started a business together. But your new husband Jack made some pretty huge mistakes that ended up costing the company a lot. But instead of taking responsibility for them, he stole the rest of the company funds and ran off. My fiancé Barry was embarrassed and crushed that he said he wasn't worthy of me and called off the engagement. Wait just a minute. You're telling me that my husband and your fiancé started a business together? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I didn't have too many details about what happened either, but Barry mentioned the name of his partner, and I realized it was the same as your then fiancé. I thought it might have been a coincidence, but then Barry showed me photos of them together, and I knew they were one and the same. Anyways, I confronted Jack in the changing room, and he admitted to it all, so naturally, I informed the police. But don't worry, I know that you want to have your wedding, so I told them not to show up until after the vows had been exchanged. But I guess I won't be here to see it since I'll be going home. But I hope the two of you get what you deserve. But you can't be serious, right? You really didn't do that, did you? Well, especially after you poured that water on me, Jack came running after me, begging me not to call the police. He heard about what you did to me, and that's why he's here begging on his knees for mercy. This can't be happening. Jack can't be going that to you. My husband would never. Well, I'm afraid he is. Of course, the whole situation was made much worse by the way you treated me. But anyways, the police have already been informed, so it's too late to change anything now. Oh, come on. You don't have to do this. I would be less concerned about that and more worried about wrapping up your wedding before the police get there.
Emily, thank you so much. I can't believe you managed to track Jack down. You don't know how much worrying you just saved me.
Well, it really all was quite lucky, if I'm being honest. But anyways, I'm just glad that we could find him. Anyways, what about you? How are you doing? Are you eating like I told you to?
Yeah, don't worry. I've been eating out of that care package that you sent me, and I feel like a new man now. Some other good news. I feel like I might be able to restart my company.
Really? You think you can turn things around?
Yeah, I know that I've basically lost all of my clients, but now that Exodus has stopped and I'm left with the ones that really believe in me. Not only that, but they understood my situation and said that they would recommend my business to associates here. And I've already started getting calls from new people wanting to work with me, so now I think I have enough funding to keep my project going.
Barry, that's incredible. Congratulations on that. That's so amazing. I knew that things would work out for you.
It's not me. I've just learned so much about business ever since I was little from my parents. I mean, I feel lucky that I was born into the family that I was, but also because of it, it means that I understood the risks of doing business. But there's one more thing that I'm hoping to set right now, and that's you.
Me? What do you mean by that?
I mean that after Jack stole my money, I told you that I could marry you, but this whole experience has taught me that I really need you. And now that we caught Jack, I want to ask again, will you marry me? Because if you say yes, I promise that I'll never let you go no matter what. I swear I'll do everything in my power to make you happy.
Oh, Barry. I want to say yes, but I know you and your business too well. How about you focus on your company first? I know that things are looking good now, but you need to make sure that they stay that way. After you've done that, then we can talk.
You're right. Better to make sure we do this right this time. Thank you so much for understanding, Emily.
Emily, this is all your fault. The police just took Jack away. I had no idea that he had done such shady things in the past. From what I heard, Barry wasn't even the first person that Jack had done this to. Apparently, he had a pattern of scamming people out of their money like that. But no one had ever managed to catch him until now. Well, I want you to know, that I divorced him. Jack is no longer my husband. Oh no, you mean the marriage wasn't going to work out? And here I was thinking that you married the perfect man. I thought so too. But he wasn't a winner like me at all. He was just a loser scammer who would have done the same thing to me. But I guess that means if you don't have a husband like Jack, that makes you a loser just like the rest of us, no? Especially after he was arrested just days after you two were married. But I guess that's what you get for always looking down on others because of who you were marrying. How dare you talk to me like that? I thought we were friends. Why are you being so mean to me? Is that supposed to be a joke or something? You insulted me the moment you found out I wasn't going to marry rich like you. Then you invite me to your wedding only to humiliate me in front of everyone and then try and kick me out. And I would have reported you to the police for what you did as well. That's still a form of violence. You mean that you would have called the cops on me too, just for a little prank with water? I can still do it if you want to join your husband in jail. No, please, don't do that. I don't want to go to jail. I wouldn't last a day there. Well, if you don't, then maybe you should check your ego and please just never ever talk to me again. After that, Jack was arrested for his various frauds and eventually sentenced to jail for them. I heard that Carla was brought in as a suspect, but that she was cleared of charges when the police realized she knew nothing. Apparently, while he was in jail, Jack was refusing to sign the divorce papers. Carla was so nervous that he was plotting something with her bank account, so she withdrew all of her money and moved to a new state. Except that every time someone from her past would find her, she was so nervous about being found by Jack, even though he was in jail, that she would pick up everything and move again. As for Barry and I, it took some time, but Barry's company eventually took off into the success that we always knew it would be. The day he took the company public was the day that he proposed to me. I said yes, and we're set to be married next month. But us being married didn't mean that I flipped like Carla into some elitist monster. I still hung out with old friends from high school, and we all gossiped about Carla's situation. In fact, despite being married, very little has changed for me. I'm just glad that everything about the situation appears to have wrapped out quite neatly. Of course, it helps that Barry now has someone like me by his side to help vet potential business partners, and I plan on keeping it that way.
are you thinking, Madison? Why did you just come out of that place with Raymond? What is going on with you, Sherry? Coming at me with all these phone calls without at least giving me a text first? Stop trying to act like what you've done is not a problem and get to explaining things. I heard from Raymond that for the next month he'd be out of the state for a business trip. But for some reason I saw you going into his house yesterday. And after a full day, you are finally coming back out of that house? And not just by yourself, but with Raymond while the two of you share laughs and smiles? What? You've been watching me in his house ever since yesterday afternoon? I knew it! You are just his stalker. I wasn't watching you in his house like that because I enjoyed it. Recently, I've noticed that Raymond has been acting pretty suspicious. And when I've been over at his place the past few weeks before he left, his room smelled like someone else's perfume. There have also been days where he wasn't responding to my texts at all. And that's why yesterday, when I had finally had enough of him ghosting me all the time, I went over to make sure he was actually on a business trip, and there you were. So, Madison, you've been the one going out with Raymond then? And so what? What are you trying to say about me, Sherry? Just because you're only finding out about this now doesn't change anything. Although you are finding out a lot sooner than we had both expected. What is up with that attitude towards me? Raymond is supposed to be my fiancé right now, right? Are you a freaking idiot? You're going out with your friend's fiancé right now. Huh? From what I've been told, he's no longer engaged to you anymore. He's planning on getting married to me now. So stop trying to play this as though you've been cheated on when there's no love between you guys anymore. Huh? He told me that he's thrown you away and will be marrying me when the time's right. So no matter how upset you get over this, it's not going to change the fact that he's mine now. Raymond has finally become my man now. Wait a second. You guys are planning to get married now? For a long time now, I've been trying to get him to fall for me, but recently he finally took the bait and came after me. For a little while, he wasn't even bothering to look at me, and hearing that he'd gotten engaged to you made me really sweat. But I was able to make one last play that ended perfectly for me. He finally came around to me and said that I'm the one. You've been going after him this whole time? What? Madison, have you always been in love with Raymond the whole time we've been friends? That's right. Ever since middle school with him, I've always been watching him, waiting for him to come to me. What? However, for some unknown reason, he never did come to me, instead going for some basic chick like you. Even making sure to let everyone know that he had gotten engaged to you last year. You really were so lucky to get a part-time job working at the same place as him. But it wasn't fair because I had been eyeing him up for years before you ever met him in college. He knew that I was into him, and even now he tells me that he felt my love. And since he's felt that love from me far longer than from you, it's natural for him to come back to me. What? So you've been going after one man, Raymond, ever since middle school? After middle school, I followed him to the same high school, and after high school to the same university. I made sure that I was never out of his sight this whole time. And when the time came that I finally knew I needed to go and ask him out, he fell for some chick at his part-time job. But that wasn't what upset me, because I thought for sure that your guys' relationship wouldn't last long. But here we are, years since then, and you guys became engaged. So that's why I had to take action and steal him from you before it was too late. What's so wrong with having to do that, Sherry? Wait a moment. So back then, when you started to work at the same place with Raymond and I, it wasn't just a coincidence? The day after I started to go out with him, you began to work part-time with us at that place. You already know that wasn't a coincidence. I had to know what kind of woman he had started to go out with, and that's why I began working there. But you didn't even take a second to realize that he was mine and just stood around smiling and talking all happily about your relationship with him. However, even though it hurt me so much to have to see you both being happy, I had to stay on him, and that's why I became your friend. Well, that was all just a sham, Sherry. I had just come from out of town to that local college in town, and while there, I didn't really have any good friends. And even with all the people I ran into every day at school, I just couldn't find anyone to call my friend. Just as I was beginning to feel real loneliness, I had found someone like Raymond and a person to call my friend. Well, me being all friendly to you was only a part of my plan at getting even closer to Raymond. I knew that by getting you to trust me, I'd be making my chance of getting him a whole lot better. It was all just so I could break you both apart and slide right in. That was your plan this whole time? And that was all just because you happened to be able to get to him before me, even though he's mine. But hey, I was just lucky that you were desperate for a friend, or else I might never have been able to get you to think I was a friend to you. To be honest, you are one stupid woman, and having to be around you a lot was really degrading. And I tried so hard to get Raymond to notice me the whole time I was faking being your friend, but for some reason it took more work to get him than I thought. Heck, I even started to make mistakes at work and blamed them on you to try and get Raymond to leave you, thinking you were useless. You're kidding, right? That whole time working there after you came, I remember our boss yelling at me all the time for things I never did. So that was all because of you then? That whole time you were just trying to get me in trouble and fired while faking being my friend? And as time went on, we all graduated from university and college, and unlike you, Raymond found a proper job. I really thought that would have been the moment he left you since you couldn't find yourself work, but just as I started to get ready, I heard he had become engaged to you. But that didn't last too long, because all I had to do was tell him my true feelings, and he came to me. If I knew it would have been that easy to get him, I should have just told him my feelings a long time ago. You are such a complete jerk. I can't even comprehend what's happened here because of you. I seriously thought this whole time that you were a real friend to me. However, you never thought of me as your actual friend. And not even that, but you've hated me this whole time? Well, you've also been trying to get Raymond away from me? The only jerk here is you, Sherry. You came out of nowhere and took my man away from me without ever considering my feelings. Do you get it now, though? It's over for you. Raymond is all mine now, and there's nothing you can do to get him back. So you stay the hell away from us now and never ruin my relationship again. I've heard about it all from Madison. The one you've been cheating on me with has been her. And she said that you left me for her and plan on getting married to her now too?
I heard about all of this as well from her. She told me that since yesterday, you've been standing around my house watching us? If you really felt that I was cheating on you, you should have just said so to my face. But instead, you became my stalker and made yourself look like a freak.
You have no right saying I'm the freak when you've been the one cheating on me. Are you not going to at least apologize for what you've done?
Why would I apologize for something I don't feel wrong about doing? I have finally been able to find the number one girl in the world for me, and she's been in love with me a lot longer than you have. So what's wrong with me choosing her over you?
Huh?
It's so beautiful thinking that she's been in love with me ever since middle school. And what's even more beautiful is that her dad is actually my department manager. I had no choice but to go for her now that I have work relations at stake.
You're telling me that her dad is your boss?
He has the same last name as her, but I never thought that he'd actually turn out to be her dad. But if I'm able to get married to his daughter, I'm sure that will lead to me getting some major promotion within the company. There was no reason for me to stay with you now when I have a gift like her.
You're throwing me away for her, all because she's your better chance at getting promoted? That's your only reason for throwing away the person you've been together with for years and years now?
You're far too old now to still be working odd jobs like you have been. For a long time now, I've actually been resenting ever going out with you, back when we worked together, because you've turned out to be such an idiot. If it wasn't for me always being here to help you out, you would be nothing more than wasted meat. Heck, even before I finally jumped over to Madison, the only real way you were making any money was by coming over to my place to do my chores for me. Really, you've been more like a housekeeper than a fiancé.
A housekeeper? Is that how you've been thinking about me this whole time? So you never loved me for the woman I am, but rather just because I'm able to help you get chores done?
Men love women that are able to get cleaning and cooking done. You would even come over to help me do some of the nastiest jobs, all for a little bit of cash from me in return. But even though you did a good job for me, I've stumbled into an even more amazing and useful woman. Not only is she madly in love with me, but her dad would be my best shot at a promotion. She's perfect.
No, she is not.
Ah, that's right. I've made sure, just in case you want to come, to send you an invitation to our wedding. Make sure to take a good look at it and RSVP soon.
Why would you send something like that to me?
Don't make up anything in your head about this. I'm not sending the invitation to you because I want you there. I want you to stop stalking me now, so hopefully seeing me happy with Madison will make you stop trying.
Huh?
I feel that by saying the truth, that should be enough to even teach an idiot like you that I don't love you anymore. Seeing the evidence of me kissing her after putting on her wedding ring should stop any more thoughts about me from entering your head. Man, you should be so thankful that I'm putting this much thought into you still after having thrown you away. I'm a really nice guy, aren't I?
Hey, Sherry, why are you here showing up to our wedding? And are you completely brainless? Why did you show up wearing a wedding dress yourself? The only person that should be wearing a wedding dress today should be the bride, me. But you're not the only one that's a bride today. Because I myself am a bride today. Huh? Did all that shock of losing Raymond to me melt your brain away? I'm the one that's going to be marrying Raymond. And just because you're here in that perfect-fitting wedding dress doesn't mean that he'll come back to you. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not here to try and get Raymond back. Then why are you here wearing a wedding dress? You were thrown away by Raymond months ago, and that makes you the loser. Huh? You think that I'm the loser after all of that? I do. You were the one that got thrown away by your fiancé and had to learn that your friend was never actually your friend. So after having lost the both of us, why are you coming back? You're not going to be able to get him back now because I'm the one that he's chosen to marry. I'm only here in a wedding dress because today is the day of my wedding. Huh? But my wedding starts later today, after yours. And the only reason I'm already in my wedding dress now is because I'm just getting back from a photo shoot this morning. But while we have a break in the photo shoot, I've come inside to go to the restroom. But I forgot where the restroom is, and that's how I stumbled upon this room. And just when I was going to turn around and leave, I saw that this is your guys' wedding. You're going to be having your wedding here later today? What are you going on about? You shouldn't have anyone to marry anymore, right? You lost Raymond to me only a few months ago. So what? Are you just having a wedding by yourself now and are getting photos of yourself taken outside? I understand that Raymond is all yours now. But that doesn't mean that after he left me, I couldn't find someone new to become my husband. And so that new man that I've found is going to be with me for our wedding day. Huh? You found yourself a new man? That's right. I'm getting married to my boss from work. Now, hold on. You're getting married to your own boss? In other words, you're getting married to that old man that was our manager back when we were all working part-time there? I get that after being tossed aside by someone as amazing as Raymond, you try to rebound off of someone else, but... But that's just gross, Sherry. Huh? Well, come on. That old man is in his 70s by now, and you're planning on being married to him? And what's even crazier is that that man was pissed off with you all the time there after what I did to set you up. He really wants to be married to you now? You both must really be that desperate. For him to give up the last bit of his life for someone like you must mean real desperation. You're still young, Sherry. You should rethink being with a gross old man like him and call things off before you tie the knot for good. I'm not getting married to my old manager from that place. I'm getting married to the CEO of the company I currently work for. The CEO of the company you currently work for. And I'm just going to let you know this right now so that you don't continue to stay confused. I am not working as a part-timer anymore. After graduating from college, I worked that part-time job a little bit longer after you guys left before being hired into my current job. And as of right now, I'm working a lot less hours to keep up with all the work I have to get done there. I'm at the point now within my career that the company and my husband trust me with all the projects. Huh? So you're not working a part-time job right now? You're actually a full-time employee now and are working for a decent company? And what's even funnier is that I often go to the company Raymond is working for to help out. But anytime I told him that, he just said for me to keep my dreams to myself. He for some reason believes that I'm freelancing and doing odd jobs. Well, how are you helping with the company he works for as well? And how have you managed to become close to your CEO? There's just no way you could be able to do all of that. You can believe whatever you want to, but this is all true. Now that was enough talking for now. How about we both just wish for both of our weddings to go well today?
Hey, it's all just one big lie, right? That you were going to be marrying the CEO of the company, right? And you do know that the CEO was actually the CEO of a company that's a huge customer of mine, right? So how the hell is he going to be getting married to you now?
If you really are finding it hard to believe me, you are more than welcome to come sit in on our wedding today. My husband has a lot of guests coming today, so there'll be a lot of seating and we don't plan on making it private. So even you can slide on in for a quick second later today to see with your own eyes who I'll be the bride to.
What?
At first I was really upset to have my wedding at the same place as you both. But it seemed that we needed a place that has a lot of room like this building, so there was no other choice for us in town besides here.
Hey, please, Sherry, can you please tell me that all of that is a lie? If I actually have to believe that you're going to be married to one of the company's biggest customers? And one other thing, it's only been 3 months since you and I fell apart. How are you able to get up from that so quickly and find a new man to be married to? There's no way that all of this is anything but a lie.
You are right to think that this was a pretty quick turnaround. But he explained to me that he wanted to get married even sooner than I did. It appears he's been in love with me for a very long time now and already knew I was the one for him. And so he didn't want to take any more chances waiting on me.
You're telling me that your CEO has been into you for a long time?
He apparently has known about me for a very long time now. In the past, he'd hide who he was from me and come around that old place we worked part-time at to see how I was doing and things like that. And so that's how he knows me from all the way back then and about the work I'd done.
Huh?
I don't want to say this considering it'll make me look like I'm tooting my own horn here, but he seems to have been in love with me ever since the first day he laid eyes on me. And ever since that day, it only took a few years for me to end up within his company. But when he was finally able to see me again and introduce himself to me on a more personal level, I was with you, and so he had to give up for a bit. But later on, after he heard about how you cheated on me and we broke up, he was waiting outside the office while I came into work and asked me out on a date.
You're freaking lying, right? The CEO of that company, he's been in love with you this whole time? And not only in love with someone for that long, but with some part-timer he shouldn't even be worried about? Why did this happen to you?
It is pretty wild to think that he's been in love with me ever since I was working part-time there. But now I can finally begin to understand the power love like that has, much like the love Madison has for you. After all, she's been in love with you ever since middle school, right? Luckily, she is way more useful than me, and that's why it was so easy for you to throw me away.
Well, that wasn't...
Well, now that we're both with people who have loved us forever, even before we knew them, let's treat them with the same love and live happy lives together. After all, they gave up a lot of their time staying committed to us. So let's give back to them by showing equal or greater love. Now, I need to get back to having more pictures taken before the wedding. You both have a wonderful wedding today. It's because of you that everything fell apart. I never asked for a marriage like this. Why the hell is this all happening to me now? It's all because of you that my life has been turned upside down. Huh? What's happened to you? You were finally able to get married to Raymond after all those years spent being in love with him with no reward. Shouldn't you be having the best marriage ever right now? How could this be the best marriage ever? Every time that he looks at my face now, he just lets out a big sigh and then walks away. And he tells me this every single night. He tells me that he should have stayed with you, and that way you both could have gotten married and his life would have been so much better. Are you serious? He talks about how amazing you must be for a CEO to be willing to love you. He says things like how you must be more than just a decently useful woman, and that there must be some magic to you. And then he always finishes by saying that even though I'm the daughter of his boss, he never sees any benefits to being married to me. My. He really has been saying some terrible things to you. I have been trying so hard to get all the chores done around the house for him. But even with all my hard work, he compares me to you, saying that you always made better food for him and made things around the house a lot neater. He said he didn't even have to ask you to iron his shirts because you'd have them done the moment he took them off. He even said that even though he had to pay you a little to do all of that, everything turned out a whole lot nicer for him. All he talks about is you and never says anything nice about me. Now that I've heard all of this, he seems to still have feelings for me then. You may have loved him longer than I did, but that really isn't going to keep his mind thinking of you. Well, I've had enough. And that's why today I went back to my parents' house crying to them. He literally threw you away from me. Yet now he's complaining that I'm not good enough like you were. This is all your fault for making his standards so high. I told my parents all of this, but instead of calming me down and telling me it was going to be okay, they started to get angry at me. They told me that I deserve all of this. Well, it seems to me like your parents are two very understanding people. What about them is so understanding? My dad won't even listen to me anymore and is super frustrated with me. He keeps asking me what I've done for Raymond that's better than you. And that me being the daughter of Raymond's boss doesn't automatically make me better in every way. Well, he makes a great point. Because unlike you, I'm in the same position as your dad now, working as a department manager while you're just a housewife. I'm not happy with any of this. I was supposed to end up with someone better than you could end up with, yet now you get to be the wife of a CEO, and it's heart-wrenching. The Raymond I'm with now is not the man I used to love. If I'd known he'd still be thinking about you, I would have never married him. Right. That makes sense. Life would be a lot better for you now if you hadn't married him. So, is there anything right now that has anything to do with me? Please don't tell me you came to me looking for some kind of care from me, right? Because as far as I'm aware, you're the one that stole him from me. I get that someone like Raymond is a pretty terrible man and that you're all upset with him now. But blaming me for something you did to yourself is not going to get you anywhere. And honestly, I don't care right now that you feel so badly. What? Why are you being so cold to me right now? Aren't we supposed to be friends? I was so close to you and everything, so how you're acting right now is so hurtful. What? Now you think that we're friends? Weird, considering a while back you told me you only faked being my friend in order to get Raymond from me. So you aren't crap to me, Madison. Which means after this, don't even bother trying to talk to me again. Huh? It's because of you that this is all happening to me. Yet you won't even listen to me and try to help fix this? Listen, you dog. Your dad had to tell you about who I am now, right? Yet you're still going to sit there crying like a little baby? Well, if that's how you want to play this, let me tell you something. I could go to my husband right now, telling him about how you won't leave me alone, and you know what? He'll make sure that both your dad and Raymond don't have jobs after today. My husband won't go easy on them either, making sure that they understand just how rude it is of them to let their wife and daughter blame me for something I never did. But please stop! If you do something like that to me, my dad will only become more angry. No, he won't just get angry, but he'll kick me out of the house. And then Raymond will only grow more frustrated with me and it will all be over. Then stop all of this BS and leave me the hell alone, okay? You need to stop messing around trying to hide from Raymond and learn that you are his wife now, and you have to deal with the life you asked for. Or maybe, since you had the nerve to break our relationship apart, you can go get a divorce from him and find another man. If you're really going to complain this much, you must have the energy to do something besides be a pain in my neck. A divorce? I can't. We were finally able to get married. Then learn to deal with him complaining about you not meeting his standards or work harder to meet them. You chose this path, so stop with all this BS. You've loved him ever since middle school, so you should have it in you to love him until the end. Right after that last message to Madison, I never heard anything else from her again. And according to the rumors, those two's relationship ended up turning cold to the point that neither of them would ever talk or even look at one another. But of course, one day Madison ended up blowing up on Raymond. She began to yell at Raymond to divorce her if he was going to regret marrying her so much, and that he wasn't the man that she used to love who was cool and loved to talk. And because of that, for the next 3 months, those two continuously fought one another on their marriage. And these days, whenever Raymond gets home from work, he's met with Madison wearing very middle schoolish type of clothes and talking to him as if they were back in middle school. Well, all I can say is that they've both started to go off the deep end, and I really don't know what else there is to say about where their relationship will go next.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow.